All right, welcome to Career Launch Live. We're very excited to have everybody on. There we go. This is my co-host. I'm Katherine McCord. This is my co-host, Foster Williams.
Good morning, everybody. And Katherine, you got to point on the other side. Point on the other side. You'll point towards me.
I know. It's backwards. I have to keep remembering that. It's over there. I got to point the opposite because of the camera.
Florida to Texas. Oh my goodness.
I know. Welcome, everybody. We're so excited. We have a great show, some terrific guests. We have a psychology segment coming up. We have a baritone coming on to sing for us later on the show. We're going to have a guided meditation, and we're going to have a lot of great career advice for you. A lot of superb guests coming on with some really interesting topics about career pivots, what it's really like in the job market, how COVID is going to be affecting us since now we're having shutdowns again in certain areas. So we're going to address all of those things and more, interview tips and all of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments. We will be reading them as we go along. Foster is an awesome guest. He runs Search for You, which is really exciting. I'll let him tell you about that in just a minute. He's also a host on the Who You Know show with Trevor Houston, who is going to be on later today. He's actually our second guest. And great energy, really great energy person. I really, really like him. And then as for me, just that you know a little bit about me, I run Titan Management, which is a career. It's a kind of a recruiting platform and consulting firm. And then of course we have Career Launch Live. We're going to also have our one of our co-founders for Career Launch Live later on today, Joel Knapp. He's going to be talking about what it's like to pivot via industry. And he's had a few really interesting pivots. So we're going to go into that. So Foster, let's start off with, how are you doing today with all of this craziness and shutdowns happening again in DFW? How are you doing today, and how is it going with Search for You?
I am COVID free. You guys see this face? That's what a COVID free face looks like.
Yeah, so, right? Thank God.
We're doing good here in DFW, and there's some folks from DFW, I'm sure, that are with us right now. We are looking at going into the triple digits of temperature, and it's kind of brutal here in Texas when we get above 100 degrees. I think it's probably brutal anywhere you get above 100 degrees. But we're ready to go. We have, guys, I am the founder of the Career Search Network, and the website that serves the Career Search Network is Search for You, SEARCH, the number 4, the letter U, INC.com. It is a job posting site. It is also kind of Graham Central Station for a lot of activity that we have going on here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And they're job posting. There's people that have landed jobs, and their stories are there. Anything that will add some value or some encouragement to job seekers that are looking. There are jobs posted all over the United States, and we have an international job section as well, because there's some international recruiters that I want to connect with Katherine as we go forward with things, and we can cover this whole planet, you know.
Oh, yes, so, and because there's a need everywhere. And by the way, folks, there are jobs posted on our site. It's scrolling along the bottom here of the screen, careerlaunch2020.com. We have Project Help You Grow integrated. We have several other really interesting opportunities, as well as my own personal listings. And so definitely check those out, and check out Foster's site, Search for You. There's some really, really good opportunities on there as well. Also connect to Foster and I on LinkedIn.
Yes, please,
we both love to connect to people. We're glad to help you out any way that we can in your search, making introductions, those types of things. So Foster, let's start with our favorite topic, you and I. And we have a lot of fun discussions about this. Overcoming obstacles in the job search, right? And right now, especially with COVID. So let's start with, what are you seeing that's different with COVID being around in terms of the job search?
Well, COVID, guys, is a step process. Now, when we first started, everybody was scared. But you know what we said in corporate America? Basically, we said, okay, we are not going to just shut down because the government is everybody's afraid. We have to keep going. So we have to figure out how it looks like for us to keep going. One of the things that we instituted was Zoom, and we're not on Zoom today, but everybody. I think everybody knows Zoom that I'm talking about. And
Yep.
so now at this particular stage of COVID, guys, we seem to be the rubber band seems to be snapping back now. There's a lot of job postings. There are a lot of landings, especially here in DFW. I'm here in Dallas Fort Worth, and as far as I know, we are the hugest job search network here, and
Right.
there's more things going on, and I want to encourage you guys to go to careerdfw.com and careerusa.com. My buddy Jeff Morris created those websites so that we can navigate the national scene as well as what's going on here in Dallas. We have so many companies that are here in Dallas. We like to share the opportunities that those companies have in your neck of the woods, wherever you live. So really, that's one thing that we do with Search for You. We
Right.
are, we just try to connect. It's real simple because we meet on Zoom now, but we were pre-COVID. We were meeting in person, and we had some job seeker networking groups that had 400 people
Oh,
weekly.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we did.
And I don't feel like, a lot of people are feeling like there are not jobs out there. I don't think
Right.
that's correct. There are definitely
that's not
jobs.
the case. Yeah.
And it's just, but you do have to be, I will say this, you do have to be creative with how you're searching right now, right? It's
Absolutely.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely a different search process. So what's your advice for people to search effectively right now with COVID going on?
Well, guys, we've got the online everything. You guys are used to seeing job postings and stuff. But here's number two. There's a 1-2 punch in this job search thing that works best for us. Network, network, network. Now, guys, networking to me is very, very easy. Katherine and I have been recruiters our whole career, and we're used to connecting with people. And you can tell what kind of personalities that Katherine and I have. We're such introverts.
Oh yeah, very shy, very very shy people.
Yeah. So we meet you, we connect with you on LinkedIn. We want to know, Katherine and I, and others. There are plenty of others, guys. We want to know who you are. Not only do we want to know what it is that you do, so we can connect you with somebody, but we want to know how you got there. We got all kinds of questions to ask, and you know what?
Right.
These companies are going to be asking the same thing on interviews, guys. Now, in this process, we will learn how we need to. Did I say need to, Katherine?
You did.
How we've got to tell these companies on our resumes, guys. We're still doing resumes now. We're augmenting
Yes.
resumes. Trevor
Yes.
Houston's going to be talking to you guys about some video and different ways that we can augment those resumes to get the attention of the people
Right.
that we're trying to get attention to. If we can talk to them, we might be able to convince them that, hey, you want to bring me on your team, you want to hire me. And you know what, guys?
Right.
Corporate America's going to get mad at me. The money is still out there, you guys.
Yes. Don't let people
Yes.
shortchange you on salaries right now. Do not accept that. That's some nonsense. Let me tell you, I've seen definitely a lot of that. By the way, we had a comment from Sandra Thomas. Welcome, Sandra. We're glad to have you on. And saying she's definitely working on being creative in her job search. What that looks like right now, we're gonna definitely stay tuned for Trevor Houston's section. Sandra, you're gonna Chandra, excuse me, Chandra, you're gonna learn a lot. And also be sure that you're showing your unique value, right? We talked about that yesterday in Foster's group. Which one was that? Frisco
Oh,
Connect?
yeah. We
Yeah,
had
Frisco Connect. We did.
Katherine was
And
our speaker.
and I enjoyed it. By the way, that was a great
Fun.
group. I really enjoyed that group of people. And you have to be able to show your unique value proposition, right? This is something that both Foster and I have really been preaching a lot lately, right? Bring out your personality in your resume, show who you are. And what that means is taking the time to not only put on the basic meat and potatoes, right? but to really show what made you unique. So talk about your accomplishments and make those quantifiable. So put specific numbers, put specific examples of how what you did specifically helped the company grow. And when you're targeting a specific type of position, of course, you have to make sure that certain keywords are there and all that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you also have to make sure that you're showing why you're different. Okay. People like Foster and I and HR professionals, we get so many resumes every day. It would just blow your mind. We read them over and over and over and over again. What makes you stand out? Foster's laughing at me. What makes you stand out is showing off, basically. This is a sales opportunity. All right. And if you're not a sales professional, that's fine. You don't have to be. All you have to do is sit down and think about what makes you excited, what lights you up, and make that come through in your resume. We can get a little bit more specific into that if any of you like, but that's extremely important. Don't just put the meat and potatoes. Oh, and also, guys, I've been seeing a lot of this lately. Don't talk in paragraphs on your resume. Okay, we're not trying to read a book when we're reading your resume. All right, shorten that stuff down a little bit for us. Put bullets and be specific, and put the things at the top that are the most exciting to you. All right, because it's going to be the most exciting to us too. Would you agree with that, Foster?
I would totally agree with that one.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, so Amber says, there's been a lot of pressure to accept anything, even if it's not an appropriate range for the role, and that people are trying to rip people off right now with salaries. I completely agree with that. That's been happening. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's something that neither Foster or I want any part of.
Yeah.
in our business,
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry, Catherine. Remember, guys, who is in charge of how much money we go to work for?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of that? Only us.
That's right.
So we've got to be sensible with it. We've got to know our stuff. Call Foster, call Katherine. Let's talk about that kind of thing. But hey, we do not go to work to go to work because we're scared for $30,000-$40,000 less salary than what we had before. We don't go to work so that we can't pay our bills. We go to work so we can pay our bills and we can feed our family and we can go to the amusement park.
Right. Oh, and Tracy is asking, is Frisco Connect online, or is it a meeting in person? It used to be in person, but Foster, how can they join Frisco Connect?
I would love to, Tracy. I'd love to share that link with you. We meet on Zoom. We meet first and third Tuesdays of every month. There's usually just short of 100 of us on. Yesterday, for some crazy reason, and we didn't have as many as we usually do. But
still a good group, though.
Yeah, it
really
was
good
very,
group.
very good. It's fun, guys. I invite speakers that have a personality like Katherine. I think Katherine's number one. I'm going to try to have her come back as much as I can. But
I loved that group.
Yeah, when you get together with people, guys, you'll be surprised what comes up.
But connect with Foster on LinkedIn, and he will share that link with you so that you can join them. It's a wonderful group. There's some really interesting, very influential people on that group. So Amber asked the question: what if the things at the top of your resume are more relevant to the role you're applying to, but not necessarily the most recent? You don't want to appear to have gaps, right? Okay. First of all, right now during COVID, gaps are understood. All right, we're gonna put that right on out there. First of all, gaps are understood. You can also structure your resume so that you put kind of some career highlights at the top, and you don't want to list like 9 or 10 things. That's a bit ridiculous. But put the top 3 or 4 really awesome things that you've done in bullet points right at the top of your resume. And you can even label the section career highlights. Okay, and then you go through and do the sequential jobs, because you're right. You don't want to hodgepodge your jobs where they're all out of order. That's confusing. So put those career highlights at the top and then go through at the bottom and kind of, or not the bottom, but in the employment section, and just list them chronologically and then kind of specify what you did at each one.
Mm-hmm. We like the reverse chronological resume, guys. Your latest job at the top and then progressing down. I personally, now there are some skill positions that a functional resume would be good for, but I don't suggest that for the majority of us folks that are out here in the professional corporate world.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I think too, and people have this idea that you need to keep your resume to a certain number of pages, all of this. Don't worry so much about that. It just make sure you get everything on there, but don't write a book either. Okay.
Yeah.
And keep it to about no more than about 5 bullet points per job, kind of, and be specific. Don't say generic things like, I was the manager of a department and I had to, what's some of that crazy stuff I'm always saying. I always say I was a manager and I lifted my employees up. I keep seeing that statement and I'm like, okay, that's great, but how did you do that?
We call it fluff. Guys, do this. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time, but for the right job, you're going to get excited about some jobs that you see posted. And you know why you get excited? Because you're a good fit for it and you know you are. So take your time, read about that company, understand what it is that they do. Then look at that job description and see what they're asking for. That's what Katherine and I are suggesting that you guys talk about, the very things that they're looking to hire. Guide them through it. My mom used to say, son, when you tell somebody something, then make application of that. And what she meant was prove it to them. Show them.
Yes. And that's what I was talking about, those numbers and those specific examples. And guys, if you need help with that, contact Foster and I on LinkedIn. Absolutely. And again, there's still people asking about Frisco Connect. Just connect with Foster on LinkedIn. He will send you all the information and provide you with the links. And they're dropping our links in the comments right now, so you can just click on that and connect with us. Also, we had a question from Ellen O'Brien, and I really like this question, Ellen. Thank you so much for asking it. I have been searching for a job since I was laid off in 2017. How do I get past long gaps on my resume? I'm gonna let you start with that one, Foster.
Okay. Ellen, right? Is that Ellen that asked that question?
Ellen. Yeah.
Good morning, Ellen. Make sure and link in with me, Ellen. They call me a net weaver. And so that, Katherine and other people will say, Foster knows everybody. No, I don't. But when you look at it, you'll be surprised. This network that I'm talking about, guys, is 20 years old. I hesitate to say what the number of people. It's way in the thousands of people here in DFW and all over the place that have landed a job. And they are willing to pay it forward by helping us with their company that they work in. So if you see an opportunity in that company. So let me get to Ellen to your question. The things I would suggest strongly that you volunteer, and you can put those volunteer things that you do. You might help an organization, a networking organization, a number of things that you can volunteer. Now, if you can volunteer to do what it is that you do, if you're an IT person, you might want to volunteer at your church or some group that you're a part of and hook up all the computers for them and all that sort of thing. That is relevance. Now, Katherine and I spent a long time yesterday talking about relevance. We want these companies to know that we are experts in our field, and our vertical is what we like to say in recruiting. And if you can do that, guys, people will want to talk to you. They'll pull you off LinkedIn. They'll pull you off chats, all sorts of things. Put your 2 cents in some of these chats on LinkedIn.
And Ellen, first of all, Ellen, if you could comment what it is specifically that you do, that would be really helpful so that we can give some kind of specific advice. I'd be very glad to do that. But I will tell you guys a few tips that really work very well, especially right now with COVID, when everybody is there's so many extra people in the job market, right? The candidate market is saturated. That's just the reality. So you're going to have to, you're going to have to really stand out. Okay. So what you want to do is do things like go on podcasts. The Who You Know Job Networking Show, if you're in the DFW area, is a great one. People have been hired right out of the comments. And that's the one that Foster is also a host on.
Anybody all over the world.
Come on in. Come on. It's a great show. I've been on it myself. I really enjoy it. There are other podcasts you can get on, because here's what happens. When people see you on a podcast or on a show, they automatically view you as an expert. Okay. So that gives you credibility. All right. And it gives you an opportunity to showcase your knowledge and all of that. So use that type of thing to get out of your slump. Really and truly, with a gap like 3 years, I want to be real honest. That's going to be a little harder to overcome. So here are the steps that I would recommend. Get a couple of certifications. By the way, we're going to be talking in a little bit about how you can get a Scrum Master or Agile certification.
Oh,
We're doing some scholarships, guys. Going to hook you up with some free certifications. So stay tuned to that. But get yourself a couple of certifications that are relevant to what you want to do. Okay, do some volunteer work, like Foster said. That was a great recommendation. Doesn't have to be much, but do something. And network, and then go on shows. And network can be on LinkedIn. If you're shy, that's fine. Okay, get on LinkedIn, message people, get on some Facebook groups, message people. That way, it's a little bit more at your convenience and in your space, and that's fine. But definitely do those things, and then get out there and be on podcasts. 3 years is going to be a little tough to overcome, but you can do it. It has to be confidence, and it's a matter of finding the right company. I would also target startups. They're really good for hiring people with talent, not so much number of years of experience, right? So I would really maybe target some startups, and definitely connect with us. We'd be glad to share that information with you. Alma said, can we get those websites you mentioned? Okay, yeah. So Alma, Nina is posting some links for you so that you can get to the other sites and the other events that we have going on. So on that line, Foster, so we're talking about people that have gaps in employment.
right.
And again, right now in COVID, that's going to be expected to a certain extent, but only to a certain extent, right? And what can you be doing? So what would you recommend to people to be doing to keep themselves sharp during this time and to keep themselves relevant?
We have a strong market of companies that help us get certifications. And you want to use those gaps as a gap filler. You want to use your time in certifications. Maybe you decide, if you're a project manager, maybe you decide that you are going to want to get your PMP. We know that it's a process of time to get a PMP. And during that time, guys, put it down as time, log it in. And then, of course, when you get your certification, oh my goodness, you want to brag that to everybody, especially those positions that say, there are other hiring managers out there that have PMPs and they want to hire people with a PMP because they put their time in on it too. Not all require PMPs, but when it is required, guys, look and see if it's a requirement or a nice to have. I'm going to let Katherine talk a little bit about the nice to have part of job postings.
All right. He knows this is one of my favorite topics, and I just did a big post about it on LinkedIn. So, people, while you are looking for a job, there is a rule that you should always follow. All right. So when you're looking at a job description, there is going to be the list of requirements, and sometimes they'll separate the nice to haves, but sometimes everything's under requirements. Here's how you know it's important. Is it at the top of the list? Is it repeated somewhere in the job description? Is it bolded? Is it underlined? Something like that. So those are the must-haves, no negotiable. Also, if they use the word must-have in there, it's not negotiable. Don't even apply if you don't have it. Okay, don't waste your time. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is or my opinion is about whether or not that should be a must-have. It's a must-have. Okay. So don't apply if you don't meet 75% of the overall job qualifications and 100% of the must-haves. Okay, there's no point in wasting your time with that. So, and on the nice to haves, you still want to meet at least a couple of those and meet them pretty well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's okay. So Amber asked, what if funds are limited for some of the pricey certifications? All right. I got some suggestions for you there, because I will tell you, I am frugal. Okay. So I am always looking for that bargain. You have asked the right person, Amber, and Foster too. I'm going to let him chime in on this in just a sec. So what I'm going to tell you about that, Amber, is you, first of all, find some of the free ones. There are companies offering free ones right now. Okay. Not just on LinkedIn. So look for advertisements for free certifications. Follow certain certification companies on LinkedIn, because they will post when they're offering free certifications. Get on Facebook and make some of the things that you follow different educational type scenarios that will make those advertisements pop up to you. But look for those free ones. There are free PMPs, HR certifications, all that. Allison Learning is one that you can use. Udemy, there's a whole bunch of different, depending on your industry, there's a whole bunch of different resources. But even big organizations like Salesforce right now are doing things to help people out. And also, again, tune in, because if you're into certain fields, we'd be glad to help you get some of your certifications, because we're going to be offering those scholarships here on the show. Alma said she's focusing on cybersecurity. That's a cool field, by the way. And I love to see a woman in that field.
Yeah, I like cybersecurity.
Yay! I do. And I some of the coolest people I ever talked to.
I've got a secret clearance.
Woo, exactly. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was in aerospace. I was a NASA guy for a while.
Right.
I still am. So anyway.
Oh, and so cybersecurity. All right, Alma, you want some advice as to where to look. First of all, if you're looking for any additional certifications in your field, Scrum Master, which by the way is one of the ones that we're going to be offering, that's going to be huge. PMP is going to be another big one that you might start to see, but Scrum is going to be a big one. For security, cybersecurity, focus on government jobs right now and focus on the banks. Okay, those guys are always hiring security. Now cybersecurity. Now they can be hard to get through. They're a little ridiculous interview process. So I would recommend finding on LinkedIn. Yeah. Get on LinkedIn and try to connect. Get on Facebook, stalk these people. Seriously, get on there, find one of the people that's doing the hiring for these roles, and make a connection with them. Because let me tell you, those people constantly hire, and so does the government. I know, because that's how I started my career, was recruiting for that type of thing.
Okay, we got to talk about that, guys. I want to add one. Can I add one, Catherine?
Oh yes, please do. Please do. Chime on in here.
So, guys, and not just here in DFW, because we're so saturated with help here, all over the United States, you guys connect with your workforce solution centers there. Now, here's why. Because there are a number of government programs that will fund some of these expensive costs that you have for some of these certifications. Now, we've got WIOA, and I can't remember what the deal is with it, what it all stands for, but WIOA is all over the United States. So guys, Computer Minds here, other companies that specialize in training, a lot of these people, especially if you tell them that you're a part of the Career Search Network, which you are, because you are now, you're talking to me and Catherine, you're part of the CSN.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody in the CSN, except people like me and other helpers, are job seekers. We ain't got no job. We ain't got no money. So, tell them, hey, are there grants, programs around? And they know of those programs.
Right.
They openly advertise for these programs here in DFW. Now, I don't know if they do elsewhere. I would imagine they do, because the government has funded a lot of money to help us get these certifications so that we can get back to work.
100%. And so definitely check those out. For our scholarships, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to email me, and I will send you the opportunity to log in and win. We're going to actually do the drawings on the 25th. There's going to be 5 Scrum Master, Agile and Scrum Master certifications given away. These will be internationally accredited certifications. Okay, so not just good in this country, it's good for any job that you want to do. All right. So what you're going to want to do is email me. My email is kind of long, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. That also works. Nina, if you could, that's our tech lady, by the way. If you could drop my LinkedIn one more time, connect with me on LinkedIn and private message me. You can also email me at kmccord. So look at my spelling of my name there on the screen. So kmccord@titanmanagementusa.com. Again, that's kmccord@titanmanagementusa.com. Or connect with me on LinkedIn and say, hey, I really want one of those scholarships, and I'll send you the way to enter it, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. I don't want to tell you guys how long I've been recruiting, or Catherine either. But guys, there have been a number of observations that we've made in our time, and we will be more than glad to share that with you. Now, with people like Catherine and I, because we have sit in the hiring seat, guys, when you talk with us about what it is that you're looking for, we're going to automatically know people that you need to connect with. We're going to know companies and things like that. I want you to be aware of a tool called Reference USA. It's a government site that I guess every company has to have a number according to what it is that they do. Now I'm trying to think of the number. My brain's going out on me here all of a sudden. But it is a SIOC, something like that number. And if a company does a certain thing like IBM, IBM is in computer sales and computer manufacturing and all that stuff, it will tell you a number of other companies because they're in that same classification. A Reference USA will give you guys some target companies that you did not know even existed. Now, why is Foster saying that? Because if you do a certain thing for your company and you find another company that does the same thing as your company, guess what? If they have a need, it's something that you already know about, and you have an advantage because you're already come out of the area of expertise. You've already been in that field. And for some reason, we in corporate America have we're overdoing that a little bit. There are some positions like accounting and other basic positions that you can do it in the medical arena. You can do it, for an IBM. You can do it for anything, and you don't necessarily have to have experience in the manufacturing world or the healthcare arena or something like that. But when you do, if you do, you definitely want to highlight that.
100%. And to address a few of the questions here, if there are required security clearances, you're not going to get around that. Okay, you're going to have to get those security clearances. Now there are some jobs, and they will state this. They'll state that they're willing to help you get those security clearances. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you can do is pursue them on your own. There are certain security clearances that you can pursue on your own. Not all of them. A lot of the ones required for government jobs, you're just going to have to wait until you have a reason to have it. Okay. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. In terms of knowing how, and by the way, the scholarships are available to international people as well. So if you are not in the US, if you're in Canada, Mexico, India, wherever you are, first of all, thank you for tuning in. And we have a show specifically geared towards you coming up on the 22nd. But yes, those scholarships are available to anyone, anywhere in the world. That's one of the reasons that we're so excited about them, because we can offer them to everybody that might be viewing. Alma, to circle back to you again. And by the way, I love how active you are, Alma. Thank you for participating so much.
Yeah, very much.
Definitely connect with us. I definitely want to chat with you. How you can get in front of those decision makers on LinkedIn and how you can identify them. All right. So a few things here. So one of the things that you can do is just search human resources and put that in quotation marks. Okay. And put "and" in all capital letters in your search bar, and then put the company name in quotation marks. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that will pull up the human resources people. You can do the same thing with recruiter and all those different titles. That will pull those people up. That's who you connect to. That's how you reach out to them. The other thing that you can do, and a lot of people don't know this, is connect to the marketing staff, okay? Because they're the ones posting a lot of these jobs, and they can usually tell you who the right person is to get in touch with, because their whole job is to get people coming, whatever that looks like, right? Yeah. Whether it's clients or anything else. Get in front of those marketing people, and you can at least find out who the proper contact is. Sometimes you can get an email. Also, bigger companies will post email directories, okay? Get on there, get their direct email, and send them an email with an introduction and go, "Hey, this is me,"
Yeah.
and get to know them that way. That's really, really important to just kind of take that time to do that research and all of that. So one thing too, on the same subject that I really, really want to address, and Foster and I talked about this yesterday in Frisco Connect, right? So while you are reaching out to people and you are making connections with them and you are going through a job interview process, do not become a bugaboo. Okay? If you don't know what that means, that's an old song, not really old, but it's older song about being annoying, right? Don't be annoying. All right. When people are busy and all this kind of thing, give them some time. Do not email somebody that's a new contact, meaning that you haven't actually spoken with them yet, more than once a week. Okay. And send different types of emails, and don't send anything that sounds like you're annoyed. Okay. Just make sure that you're sending fresh content each time that you contact them if you're trying to get them to respond to you initially. Now, if you are already in the interview process, right? 72 hours is the increment that you want to go to, unless they've told you it's going to be a week or two. Then wait and contact them in about 10 days. If that's, so kind of go in the middle. If they give you a range, kind of go in the middle of that to contact them. But in general, 72 hours. You do not want to contact them every day. That's very annoying. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And especially now, a lot of recruiters will be a little bit more understanding with you. HR people, you got to remember they have other things to do too. They're not just doing hiring, okay? And hiring managers, oh Lord, it's not even most of their job, okay? So you've definitely got to take into consideration the other side of the table. Another thing to remember right now, folks, if you're furloughed or you're laid off, guess what's happening to HR people? The same thing. So that person that might have been your contact before may not have a job anymore either, or they might be furloughed. So don't get too frustrated if it's taking you a little bit of time to kind of get through and get those that momentum going. One thing that is very good to do is to connect to a lot of recruiters like Foster and I, a lot of people that have podcasts. And there's some great ones out there, by the way. Look up Casey Haston, Craig Fisher, who's going to be on the show later today. Anna Morgan, she's going to be on later today. She's got a show of her own. She's fantastic and really great to know. And some of the anybody that's on this show, basically, connect to them. All the guys on the Who You Know show and all of that, they're fantastic. Definitely connect to these people. These guys are great resources. They know what they're doing. And even if they don't have an open job for you, they'll help you out. I also know a few great recruiters out there across the country. So if you want just that kind of relationship, contact me, tell me what you do, where you're located, kind of what your requirements are, and I will find somebody that's a good resource for you. Okay. I have no problem doing that. And that one thing to consider too, when connecting with recruiters, we may not always have time to hop on the phone with you. Okay. We work on the phone all day long.
My goodness. I need to swallow my phone.
I know. I hate the phone. I one day when I retire, the phone's going in the pool. That's what's going to happen. But just so keep in mind, definitely connect with us and message us. But we may not have time to do a call with you. It doesn't mean that we don't care. We will circle back to you. We will help you. We do care, but this is how we communicate in terms of answering a lot of questions and things like that. Right. Get in the networking groups, that kind of thing with us. We're always glad to help you, even if we can't hop on the phone with you. We are here to help you out.
Absolutely, that's all that I do, guys. I avail myself. Now you will. To me, this is a little silly, but I understand. On my LinkedIn profile, I got all my contact information. Call me, my phone number, all of that stuff is there. If you leave me a message, and I do get a lot, I will eventually get back to you. Now, it will probably only be a matter of 24 hours,
Right.
A lot of people don't, I guess, do we live in a country where people feel like people don't care? Well, you know what? These two do.
These two do.
No, the other way.
We're doing it backwards again. Here we go. This way. We do.
Right there. She cares. And now I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to appeal to your common sense a little bit here. When you're talking to somebody, guys, it's kind of easy to tell if that person actually cares about what they're doing. We get so many people trying to get in our back pocket. We get so many people that are trying to be smart and they're trying to convince us that they know all this stuff. But we can tell when they really care. And those are the people that you want to connect with. Those are the people that you want to get down in the weeds with questions and such, like we're doing right now.
Right. Absolutely. And we have a question real quick about the Scrum Master certifications. That can benefit you in a variety of industries. That's kind of a tough question to answer. Anything IT, project managers, certain management level, executive level. I would suggest doing a little bit of research and seeing if it's something relevant to your field. And if it is, definitely, because it's kind of one of the things that can be applicable. It's kind of like a PMP certification, right? It can be applicable in a lot of different ways. What the Agile methodology is basically a way to stay organized as a company and as a group. And the Scrum Masters, right? Yeah, it's all about organization. And the Scrum Master is the one that runs all that. So that's what it is. So kind of look into it. see if it's a good fit for your field of that. But we'd definitely be glad to help you out if it is. What it says, what certifications do we feel are useful in communications or marketing industries that could set people apart? Ooh, that's a good one. All right, Foster, do you have any suggestions for certifications or anything like that that could set people apart in marketing?
Guys, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, for whatever it is that we do, we need to know what those certifications are in our area of expertise. You have got to take charge of your job search in that way. Now, how do you do that? On LinkedIn, when you connect with some of the people, look at some of the certifications that these people are
Mm-hmm.
involved with. These people that do the same thing are very close to what you do. Find out what those things are. Guys, utilize your local workforce solution centers. You'll be
Right.
surprised who is there. If they don't have the answer, you know what they'll do? Same thing me and Catherine do. I don't know, but you
Yep.
need to talk to Catherine. Oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
but you need.
It's
And
so true. It's
that
so
is
true.
called networking, guys.
Yes.
That's what it.
Um,
Networking is real easy. All we do is talk and eat barbecue. Oh,
that's
did I say
it.
that? Oh,
It's true. That's
I'm
true.
branded for barbecue. We're
And
in Texas. I mean, come on now.
oh, I know. I miss my good barbecue too. Trust me.
Oh, I know
But
you do.
I make it though. I make good ribs. Just so that y'all all know, I make really good
All right,
ribs.
my
So,
phone's got it right.
um,
You got my phone number.
so what I'll tell you too, specifically in the marketing field, look for first of all, Google is a great search. Look up top certifications for, and then put a title in 2020 and specify the year, because otherwise you'll get some crazy old results.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I will tell you, some things that I've seen that people really want to see, get certifications in the newer technologies. Okay, so look up,
Oh, yeah.
or I'm sure you already know what the most new technologies are. Get certifications in those. Anything leadership related goes
Mm-hmm.
very, very well. Also in marketing, there are marketing strategy certifications that you can get. Those are spectacular and they go a
You know what,
long way.
Catherine?
Marketing strategies.
You know what? I just thought of something. Oh my
What?
God. He had a brain thing
Oh,
going
and
on.
event management. Event management. I got to throw that out
Event
there before I forget.
management. Yes.
Yes.
Guys, when you are looking at job postings, when postings are calling for certain certifications and you see it more than once, you see it, oh my God, I'm running into the certification again. Wouldn't you think that you might want to look into some of those certifications if they're already asking for it?
And that, yes. And that, yes. Look on the job postings. That's another huge one. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, and do things if you have a career goal, somewhere that you want to be in 5 or 10 years, get certifications for that too. That
Yeah.
that looks really good to a company. But for marketing, event management, marketing strategy certifications, and then anything that you're seeing on job postings, to Foster's point.
In healthcare, you guys got so many acronyms in healthcare. I want to run out the door.
Whew,
Oh my goodness. Check
whew.
that out. According to what you do in healthcare, check out what might give you a leg up in the job search.
Right, right. And I will tell you to never get complacent, never stick to just what your company is doing. People, while you're working, pay attention to what's going on in your industry. Is there some new technology that's come out that you've heard of? Is there some new system? Is there some new way of doing things?
Hmm.
Get a certification in it, or get on YouTube and learn about it. Know what's going on, because when you get to that job search, all of a sudden it's going to be, oh my gosh, the way my company did it was like a dinosaur, and now my skills are not relevant. I see that
Hmm.
all the time. So definitely pay attention even while you're in your current position. Absolutely. And I think too, another important thing to remember is, and I want to touch on real quick before we welcome our first guest, Anna Morgan. Super excited to have her on.
Oh,
She's got some
cool.
really interesting things to say to us today. Um, I want you to keep the energy in your job search, okay? And there's a lot of different ways to do that. I will tell you some great people to connect to if you're looking for that, and if you're looking for some creative ways to put yourself out there. Dan Irvin, and his last name is
Oh yeah.
Irvin. Yep.
Oh yeah. Dan
Dan
the
Dan
man. 50
Irvin,
grand. That's right.
Dan the man. I tell you what, and he's also been a co-host on the show. He'll be back with us on the
Excellent.
22nd.
Excellent.
Superb human being, first of all. Um, phenomenal co-host, a phenomenal person. He's a great networker. He learns at an exponential rate, extremely organized, great resource. Reach out to him. And I will tell you, and Trevor Houston, who's going to be on right after Anna,
Absolutely.
you got to connect to him. Nobody knows how to put him. Woo! Nobody's got more energy than Trevor.
I know.
I have known Jack Russell Terriers that he would run into the ground.
Oh, he wear them out. And I'm with him every week. Actually, 3 times a week.
I don't think he gets tired. I firmly believe that man he's the Energizer Bunny, 24/7, just running. I don't think he slows down, which I admire about him very, very much.
He knows what he's talking about, guys.
Yes.
Now, he's a millennial, but you know what? He's Foster
sharp.
Always upside his head. So the majority of us that have been laid off, I think it's safe to say that the majority of us are baby boomers and Gen Xers. And Trevor, he makes application of what it is, guys, that we need to listen to, because when Katherine and I started recruiting, we didn't have all this technology that we have now today. And so, but we need to be open to the things that will give us a leg up. Right.
I'm telling you, and just again, guys, network. Connect. Connect.
Saying that.
Yeah, I know, right? Do it. And I will tell you guys, seriously, Foster is who you need to be following. I don't think anybody does more networking in this world than Foster does. So definitely connect to Foster. Definitely reach out to him and follow some of his groups. We mentioned a few of them earlier. Foster, you want to throw out a few more of your group names before we welcome Anna on?
Personally, in the Career Search Network. Now, guys, we are here. We're all over the country, but we started here in Dallas. So understand that a lot of these groups, and I'm going to mention all of these groups I'm going to mention, well, not all of them, are here in Dallas, a majority of them. We have Frisco Connect. You guys have heard about Frisco. The economic boom that's going on in Frisco is outrageous.
Crazy. Yes.
Crazy.
I remember when Frisco was country. It was nothing but country, and now it's just
nothing out there. You know, I keep forgetting that you spent quite a bit of time here in DFW. So yeah,
I'm a Texas girl. Don't get it messed up. I live in South Florida, guys. I live by the beach now. But hook 'em horns and go Cowboys. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, and my Dallas Stars. Got to give a shout out to them too.
And Baylor Bears. Okay. So guys, we have South Lake Focus Group, which is probably the most well-known career management group in the nation. We out in Vienna, Virginia, or McLean, Virginia, we have CNM, Career Network Ministries. We have now what we have created here, because me being a recruiter, we have ITCSN, we have HR, we have engineering, we have project management, which is going on right now. They just finished up. HR is going on right now. And some of these groups, guys, look and see when you see the meeting notices, look and see, because what I like to do is talk about the job skill sets that are served in that particular group. Because we know in HR is going to include recruiters, training and development, legal, we got lawyers, anything administrative, whether you are office administrative or whether you are an executive administrator. All of those things and a few other things that I'm not thinking about right now are included in that group. So
100%.
Your people network. Hey, when you go to a group and you meet somebody named Katherine McCord and she's got a personality like that, you're going to be drawn to Katherine. You're going to want to meet Katherine. Katherine, what in the world is it that you do? Why are you so happy in life? What's your deal? What are you on?
Well, I live by the beach. I've got a successful company and I have a gorgeous husband. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about that. So life is good for Katherine.
I'll never.